Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm your host, Danielle Stimpson. I'm so glad to have you here with me this afternoon. If you are new here, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you're watching this on the replay, you're going to have just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. If you would like to join me live, I'm here at least 5 times a week. All the regular dates and times are in the description below. You can also learn more in the description about my online Reiki certification classes, community Discord, crystal shop, and social media. If you're here live with us, go ahead and click that live chat button and feel free to request any specific or general healing for yourself. We're going to start off with a beautiful crystal grid built to all of the requests and specifications of everyone here. And after about the 45-minute mark, usually thereabouts, we will transition into the healing, where I will turn the lights down, turn the music up, and send healing to you whenever and wherever you happen to be. Thank you again for being here. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here today. So let's go ahead and dive right into that chat. So welcome in, everyone. Awesome. So I'm starting us off with copper as usual, and I've picked a bunch of stones. I've looked at all of your requests and they look incredible. I'm so sorry that some of you are not feeling well, for sure, but we will do what we can. It's good to see y'all. So we've got Grace, Susan, Cora Carr, Blue Sky, Galaguire, Chris, welcome in. And yeah, it's good to see you all. So good to see you all. So let's start building that grid. So we've got, for Grace, we've got some requests for wrists and depression, and you request specifically emerald, aqua aura, and I think you're asking for lepidolite. I think that's what it is. So I'm going to start with that and we'll see if that's the right one. So basically lepidolite is lithium mica, and it helps us to kind of stabilize the emotions. Now, lithium mica can look a lot of different ways. A specimen you have might look like just a purple, like a light purple. It may have a deeper purple with almost shimmery in it, or it may look like this. This is the actual mica itself, as like, it looks almost like sparkles. That's actually lithium, and we use lithium in mental health medications and have since at least the 1940s in the US. It is a natural substance, as you can see here. Definitely not one you want to use as a direct water infusion. I don't suggest using any crystals for that, but that's just me. But definitely avoid that with this one, because it can have some really strong, potent effects on your body. The substance of lepidolite on a spiritual level can be really supportive. It can be a mood booster and a mood stabilizer on the energetic level. It also helps with releasing patterns that kind of need to go, especially thought patterns or belief structures that were like, is that really true? I'm really trying to let that go. This can be very helpful. In addition to should I stay, should I go kind of quandaries, this can be a really good stone. So we'll go ahead. This helps to calm and understand the emotions, and this particular specimen also has some amazonite in it, which we've been working with a lot here. Amazonite is the blue that you see in here, that like greeny bluish kind of color. Amazonite is great for caretakers. It's excellent for anyone who tends to put others before themselves. It can also help with the spine and spinal nerves, self-respect, and self-care in general. So it kind of the perfect stones to go together, of course. Nature's got us there. So I'm pretty sure that's the stone you asked for. We're also going to bring in some aqua aura per your request. I believe I grabbed that. Yep, I did. Aqua aura is one we've been working with for support for depression and seasonal depression. I'm not one to med shame by any means. I use the meds I need to use, but I feel like all the crystals can help add another dimension. Reiki helps add another dimension. It's like doing all the things you can do to help support yourself. Aqua aura is absolutely one of those. Now, this is a man-altered stone. This is clear quartz that's been put through a process with titanium, turning it blue. If you look around online, you'll see a lot of similar stones in green, pink, orange, like all different shades of colors. Even like a white is an angel aura. And it's all a very similar process with different metals, giving the crystal a different color. There's not a ton of information in books about it because it is so new, and a lot of folks don't want to work with like man-altered stones, but a lot of us here have found that it's really helpful for things like depression. So I hope that this is helpful for you. It's been helpful for me. And emerald can be wonderful, not only for supporting the heart chakra and giving us some really beautiful senses of unconditional love, but it's absolutely wonderful for tissue repair. So soft tissue, meaning like skin and muscle and all that kind of stuff. So this can be really helpful anytime you have like soft tissue injuries or even are healing from surgery. Emerald can be really helpful. So I hope that this helps your wrist. These are what emerald looks like when it's not gem quality and not like cut all fancy and polished. Sometimes it's just a green stone, but the healing properties are the same. Let's see. Jennifer, good to see you. Vincent, welcome in. Oh yeah, this full moon is like, man, my body has been wanting a nap all dang day. All dang day. Oh, definitely. It's good to see you. So let's see. I hope that helps, Grace. Susan, all over body pain. Yeah, this wet, moist, rainy thing in Philly is fun. Can't really complain. We don't get it often, but still. All over body pain, I'm going to go ahead with celestite. That can be really helpful for that. And contacting the literary agent, art buyers, awards, motivation. So I have some Herkimer for that. Let's see. So let's start with celestite for general pain. This will also really support Grace as well, and I know that this has been helpful for Grace. Celestite is, it helps to support our connection with our angels, and it's very like upper chakra kind of stone, meaning our connection to collective consciousness, divine wisdom, intuition, that kind of stuff. So this can help support our connection with our angels, as well as even discerning what are psychic impressions of, hey, danger, and what are just kind of fear overrun. And sometimes it can be really hard to tell one from the other. This is a stone that can help us separate that. But in addition, I feel like it helps us to separate from our human experience of pain a little bit, in that it helps us to connect to the spiritual side of things. So our connection to our bodies is a little less visceral, and so it helps us to better cope with the sensations of pain. So we will bring in some celestite. I hope that helps. And we're going to bring in the Herkimer. That helps to, it's a really harmonizing stone. Anytime you have discordant energies, which we've got some fun things going on with the planet of Mars, which is like conflict and stuff. I mean, do we really have to go outside and like just deal with people to notice that Mars is doing something in that regard? No. But this helps to harmonize discordant energy and to just be in the moment, which is something, I mean, when is that ever a bad thing, right? But this is also great for manifesting the people, places, things that are in the highest spiritual good with what we're asking the universe for. So it's not just manifesting in like, universe, give me this. It's like, universe, I would like the highest vibrational version of this with ultimate love, respect, and support to everyone that it touches. So Herkimer is like it's like a universally minded manifester, and I love working with it for that. It also can be great for intuition and metabolism. So let's go ahead and bring that in. I tend to work with it anytime I manifest stuff. Another good one, kind of in the same vein for that, is chevron amethyst, in case you're interested in that. We've also got, and I hope you're doing well, we've also got, for Kundalini awakening, we've got aragonite with Caribbean blue calcite. And we talked about the upper chakras with celestite. This particular stone is two different kinds of calcite in one. The blue that you see, the kind of light blue green, is the Caribbean blue calcite, which sometimes you'll see is even lighter, brighter in some specimens you might see online. It may look quite different from this. And that is really strongly connected to the upper chakras, just like celestite. It even looks very similar. But that helps to bring our awareness to our upper chakras, collective consciousness, spiritual connection, divine wisdom, and epiphanies around interconnectedness of all things, enlightenment. The brown is aragonite, and that helps with our earth and soul star chakras. Those energy centers have to do with fear and safety and grounding our spiritual purpose into action here on earth, moving forward and making the changes and causes and actions we need to make to keep moving forward. So in that, it's thought to help balance the flow of kundalini, or the spiritual energy that is dormant at the base of our spine. It helps us to move that energy up in a healthy way without fear and with a little bit more control over it, and to have a more balanced experience with it. So we'll bring that in as well. So let's bring that here. Here. So I hope that helps, and I'm so glad you are here. Hey, Heart. Hi, Belinda. Vic, it's good to see you too. Allison, good to see you. Okay, I'm going to keep on going. Make sure I don't miss anybody today. Okay, so and lots of love, and you're, Susan, sending love for Korakar and Vincent. I love this. The mutual support here is incredible. And also letting go of the past. So I like that. I'm going to bring in some black onyx for that. Actually, no. Black and white striped agate is going to come out for that one. This helps us to, this can be used for grieving as well, but in general, it's one that I use for letting go of old and bringing in new. So you may hear it called striped agate or banded agate. Both are pretty common. Banded, I hear more with jewelers. Striped, I hear more in like crystal sales and like metaphysical places. So this is, as it looks like, it's black with streaks of white running through it. And the concept is that even when we're in this lamenting and learning and being in that kind of darker place of like, okay, I'm understanding what's happening, I'm understanding what needs to be let go of, I'm saying my goodbyes with it, like in the tarot card death kind of way. The white symbolizes this new beginning. So when we think about the tarot card of death, it's classically, it's like the horseman of death, and then there's on the flag the white flower of things springing anew that we see actually in the Fool. So this is things coming new and this bright light whiteness coming through even in the darkness. So that can help us with letting go of what's past. And we also have some good ones coming up for breaking patterns, which can be helpful too. So we'll bring this in. Awesome, and I hope that helps. Oh, fantastic. Hi, Maddie. Welcome in. If you have any requests for personal healing, you can go ahead and shout them out in the chat. It can be general or specific, or just hang out with us. We'll get into the healing at about the 45 to 50 minute point. Let's see. Korakar, support for Greg and Susan. Love it. Vincent for feeling worthiness of wealth. Gotcha. We have a little bit of amazonite, and that's what we've been working with a lot for feelings of worthiness, which is definitely a great stone for that. But for some reason today I'm feeling aventurine. Aventurine helps us to expand our vision of our own potential and of who we are. It can be great for all of the heart-centered ways of thinking about who we are, what we bring to the world. It can really be exceptionally helpful when it's, am I good enough? Am I worthy? Sort of thing. Very, very heart-centered in that regard. It's also thought to be helpful for if you're looking for new ways forward, like expanding your potential, or you're thinking, what do I want to do with life? Or what next steps do I want to take in career, or anything like that? And you tend to limit yourself. This can be a really heart-centered way to grow your ability to love yourself and feel that you're worthy of something more than you know, more than you think you know. I hope that helps. It can also help with things like eye problems and even learning. If you're like, oh no, I can never learn that. I'm just not smart enough to learn that. Hang out with this stone for a while. It's good for anyone who's been browbeaten and told, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's a great stone for anybody who's survived that. So I hope that helps. I feel like that's the stone that wanted to come in for you today. Patty for the return of the cat, and joy of life. Let's do that. Jet is thought to help reattract animals who have gone lost. It's also an excellent stone for grief. It is wood that's been fossilized quickly through usually volcanic activity, sometimes extremely hot fire. But yeah, this is actually fossilized wood. This allows us to be in the grief and in the thing that we're letting go of, to process it without being overwhelmed by it or numbed to it. But yeah, it's also thought to attract lost animals. So we'll bring some of that in. And I have some yellow calcite that I brought in. I believe I saw blue sky. You were requesting defining who you are rather than letting others define you. This can be a good one for that too. Also for zest for life. So yellow calcite works with the solar plexus chakra, which is yellow. And every chakra has a lot of folks think of it as it's open or it's closed. It's working or it's not. It's a lot more nuanced. Each chakra, it's sort of like the overstated, understated. It's a spectrum. And when we have an understated solar plexus chakra, solar plexus is the place of personal will, personal identity. Who am I? What do I do? What are my motivations? Standing up for ourselves is one of those things that can be caught up in there. Developing a sense of self is one of those things that shows up there. So if we're like, hey, I want to take a really healthy pride in who I am and grow that sense of health, that sense of self in a very healthy way, yellow calcite can be exceptionally helpful and supportive. And it's sort of like this ray of happiness that helps us find joy in who we fundamentally are. Not in a boastful pride kind of way, but a fundamental pride in who we are kind of way. So I hope that this helps. It also gives us a lot of, joy of life kind of energy. So we've been working with this quite a bit, and I think that's great. Spiritual folks, we tend to sell ourselves a little bit shy sometimes, and this is a great stone to celebrate ourselves in a healthy way so that we can have a more well-rounded sense of self. So I hope that helps. Also, honey calcite might work too, so we might bring that in later. We've got your mother for prosperity. Let's bring in prosperity in general with some citrine. Citrine, very closely related to amethyst, but this helps with calling in financial abundance, any kind of resource abundance. If you're looking for, even if you're looking for the purchase of an automobile or the funds to purchase an automobile or something like that, this would be helpful. But you can work with citrine in the back left corner of a room or home. Back left corner if your back is to the door, like entering the space. You can also place it anywhere that you equate with money. So where you store your wallet, in your wallet. in a cash box for a business, anything like that. If you make your money through the computer, you can put some near your computer. But yeah, this helps with calling in that abundance. It also helps to balance intuition with logic, which is always a good thing. Sometimes it can be hard to decide where it can be hard to figure out where the input is coming from, if it's logic or intuition, and having a balanced approach to sensing and knowing what's coming from where allows us to make much more well-balanced and well-rounded decisions. So I hope that that's helpful. And wishing your mom all the luck also for your stepfather's colon cancer. Health and balance for key, you got it. Emotional eating, absolutely. Korakar, what are psychopomps? Ooh, yeah, go for it. You can... Oh, hey, Key, it's good to see you. Energy transition, too much grief. Oh my goodness, Key, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll send lots of love to you. That's a lot of grief. Oh, honey calcite's been requested, so I will just go ahead and bring it out. Honey calcite is excellent alongside yellow calcite. This one helps to harmonize and support both the solar plexus and the sacral. It's great for stability in times of change too, but it's also just optimism. It also helps if anyone's dealing with like postmenopausal type stuff. If that's kind of on your list of things, this can be really, really helpful for that. But also attracting good friends, colleagues, love interests. This can also be a helpful stone for like Susan and Greg to find the best people to work with, like you were asking for. But this helps with your sense of self and harmonizing that with good people who relate to that. So good boundaries with good people. I love it. Actually, let's do... I love working with these two together. Okay, and moonstone's on the list. Opal I got. And I'm going to keep on going. Okay. Cooling. Let's see. For stepfather's colon cancer. We're going to go ahead and use some rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz is one that if you ask old school jewelers, like, you know, I'm looking for a gift for someone with cancer, what stone is recommended, they'll say rutilated quartz. The concept has always been that it directs the healing exactly where it needs to go. Like, that's the intention behind it. This is also an excellent stone for not only balancing the mind with the body, which it is excellent with that, it's also helpful for energizing. So energizing us so that we avoid being ill, or so that we can begin to undergo like a treatment for something like cancer, or to get our energy back after having been ill, whether it's a cold or something bigger, or even treatments for something like that. So this is often a stone that's linked with no matter what type of cancer, to help to support the body to heal itself, or support the body through any kind of medical interventions, really both. So I hope that this is helpful, and lots of love to you and your family. Health and balance for key. Cooling stress-induced fever. Feeling steady and grounded during menstruation when the body craves stillness. Absolutely. So one of the stones that can be most helpful during things like menstruation and any kind of women's health, anything, whether it's menstruation, fertility, onset of menses, menopause, prenatal, postnatal, all of those different things, even the relationships of life, is unakite. Unakite we also use here quite a bit for smoking cessation, but definitely a great one for everything having to do with the body cycles and hormones and metabolism and fluids in the body. So we can bring this in. I'm also going to bring in, on that same note, moonstone, because that can be very helpful with that as well. Moonstone can help us connect with the lunar cycles, and like here we are, it's like we're coming up on this, like full moon energy is like pretty intense. We can kind of feel it right now, can't we? The moon controls the tides, and with it, it controls us. We are mostly made of water, so of course it has an impact on us. It also helps us with anything having to do with women's health, divine femininity, patterns and cycles, attracting love, good relationships, divination, intuition, as well as divine timing, like connecting with divine timing and accepting divine timing, which are not always the same thing. Also, like I said, releasing patterns, and also for protection during travel. Tourmalinated quartz is also great for that. So we'll bring this in. And for grounding, especially anything having to do with the blood, I was first going to go with red jasper, which is still a good choice, but I feel like hematite, this is one that's very, very grounding. It helps us to release not great energy that's in the body and kind of purify it in a natural, cyclical kind of way. It's a stone that works well to help us regulate things overall. If we tend to run hot and cold and hot and cold in terms of like mood or functionality, this can help. But the ancient Greeks really thought that this had a lot to do with the blood, hence hema being the prefix. So I'm going to bring that in for you too. Okay, so I hope that helps. And I'm glad that you are here. Hey, JS. Mish, welcome in. Good to see everybody. Okay. Making sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so Galguire have support for relief from depression, manifesting your family. Gotcha. So we have for manifesting, we have Herkimer diamond. Let's also bring in chevron amethyst, because I feel like definitely manifesting your family. Honey calcite's a good one, kind of like for everything I just mentioned earlier, like calling in the people that are balanced and are like kind of meeting you exactly in the way of how you relate to others, how they relate to you, people who would honor boundaries and needs. But also let's bring in some celestite, which helps us to send our wishes to the universe and get the messages back about it. So sometimes we manifest something and the universe needs to say, hey, it's right next to you. And other times it's like, hey, here's some things you need to do. Or, hey, ask for this instead. Whatever it might be, chevron amethyst can be really helpful. It's the chevrons kind of denote sending the energy up or the messages up and then receiving them back. It's also a great stone if you're doing any kind of mediumship work for the same reasons, and as well as anything that has to do with I did see that Korakar mentioned psychopomp. This is a fantastic stone for things like psychopomp, shamanic journeying, visionary meditation, anything like that. Also, degenerative diseases, it's thought to have a big connection with. So let's go ahead and put these here. So that's chevron amethyst. I hope that helps. And lots of hellos. Seasonal affective disorder and depression, definitely aqua aura for Galguire as well as Chris, for sure. Definitely. And Lepidolite, very helpful for that. General mood stabilizing overall and emotional support overall. So I hope that that helps for both of you. Crown tooth infection, we've got. Let's bring in some aquamarine. That's good for teeth and gums. I hope it's not your tooth being infected, of course, but if it is, I hope it gets treated really quick. But yeah, this also works for all the fluids in the body, as well as in addition to forgiveness and deflecting pettiness, like those kind of petty digs people can make. During the holidays, that kind of stuff comes up. So aquamarine's a good one to keep around during the holidays, especially if you're seeing people you don't see often. So let's do that here, this here. Okay, I hope that helps. Full moon support for sure. Yeah, not being vampire sleepy, I understand what you mean. Fatigue and chronic pain. Fatigue, definitely rutilated. Let's see. Chronic pain, I would say celestite. And if you're willing to say like where or how the pain manifests, I might be able to put in something a little more specific too. Releasing energy of others, emotional eating. Opal of any kind. Let's do mahogany obsidian. And yeah, Allison, if you feel okay to share it, let me know where the pain is or how it manifests, and I might be able to pick a more specific stone, but celestite would be one I would pick. Let's see, what else do we have here? I did see one for, I know that there's the one for fever, stress-induced fever, and also for psychopomp and intuition, as well as weight loss, psychic sleep disturbances. So I feel like this really helps during a full moon. So I brought this up for Jennifer. Any kind of shamanic work also, it's iolite. Iolite for sure. So let's bring this in. See if we can fit all these together. We shall try. May not work, but we will try. There we go. And we have requests for... You've been having a steady stream of crazy dreams. Yeah. Ooh. Hematite we have. Peridot was requested too. Peridot is great for like bad habits and cycles. If you're wanting to see those cycles that are in your way that you want to let go of, it's helpful. It's also great for attracting new friends and contacts, especially if they are in alignment with the new cycles and patterns you've created. So that is peridot. I'm going to just go ahead and sprinkle them in. We also have mahogany obsidian, which is great for letting go of the I'm not good enough and perfect, like when the idea that we have to be perfect in order to move forward, perfect as like an obstacle to getting anything done. This can be really helpful. It's mahogany obsidian. So just like any obsidian, it's a volcanic glass. But yeah, it works well with accepting ourselves as we are and saying things like a done something is better than a perfect nothing. Letting go of the idea that we have to prove ourselves consistently, especially for those of us who might be chasing validation through perfection. So we'll bring it in. For letting go of other people's energy, I'm going to bring in again dalmatian jasper. Dalmatian jasper is black tourmaline running through jasper, and it looks, of course, like a Dalmatian. But this black tourmaline helps to repel negative energy. And when it's going through jasper like this, it sort of embodies this concept of clearing the energy field. So we'll bring that in as well. That's always a good one to have. And iolite we have, rutilated quartz, herkimer we have, kyanite, angelite. Blue kyanite helps with unconditional acceptance of ourselves, as well as neurological care. It can be helpful for things like it's especially thought to be helpful for things like stroke, especially if the stroke impacts speech and mobility. But anything having to do with neurological concerns, so anything having to do with the nerves, nerve function, sending messages to different parts of the body, inability to feel with the nerves, or like getting nerve pain, anything like that. This is thought to be helpful. It's also helpful for understanding the intuitive messages that we get. So if you struggle with like, okay, I'm having the dreams, I'm reading the cards, but what do they mean? This can be really helpful. So let's put them here. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So blue kyanite and angelite is helpful for, it really works well with the celestite, as one would think with something called angelite. It certainly helps with connection to the angels, angelic guidance, their wisdom, and their feeling of general support. And angels that I'm familiar with don't really care very much about religion and how we think that the universe works. It's more that they're kind of equal opportunity helpers. This is a piece of raw angelite, so we'll bring this in. Let's bring that in actually right here. We're also going to bring in flower blossom agate. This helps us to bloom into the next version of ourselves as we continue to grow and evolve. This is white coral. This this helps us stay on our spiritual course, our spiritual true north, our what we need to do to follow our most true to ourselves path without any distraction, especially for folks that get the, you're not going to do that, you can't do that, that's silly. This helps us to focus on what's important. If you have difficulty prioritizing around that, this can also be really supportive. So this particular white coral was picked up off the beach by my grandmother and I after a storm, so it was sustainably harvested. And I think we got everything there. Let's see. Red coral, if I can fit it, absolutely. Yeah, steady stream of crazy dreams. Definitely iolite, helpful for that. The full moon is in Gemini. Oh, somebody already answered that. Thank you. The full moon is in Gemini. The new moon at the end of the month will be in Capricorn, which is my sun sign. Yeah, let's see. Bringing out what no longer serves. Absolutely. It is the last full moon of the year. Manifesting right job and home. We're going to go ahead, and we've been bringing in some tourmalinated quartz to help with that, and we're going to do that again today. So this is just like Dalmatian jasper has black tourmaline running through it. This is clear quartz with that running through it. So it's somewhere in between rutilated quartz and Dalmatian jasper. This can help with a ton of things. There's like a lot of things that tourmalinated quartz can help with. It's thought to be protective during times of travel, and it's often used as a travel amulet, as is moonstone. But it's also great for manifesting new jobs, gigs, opportunities to earn money, new house, new digs, like security of that nature, but also breaking up scar tissue. It supports cardiac health. It's thought to help also break up like stuck energy within the body in general. So when is it a bad thing? It's not. Like it's a wonderful, helpful thing all the time. Let's go ahead and bring these here. Let's see if we have. There we go. We'll do our best to make room in the boat for everybody. There we go. That's a really helpful stone. We've also got protection and healing for throat and lungs. And Heart wanted some support around emotional eating. Blue apatite. This can help the throat as well, but this is relationship with food and eating, whether it's a non-judgmental stone of that. So whether it's you're not prioritizing food or eating well enough, or you're eating quote unquote too much for some reason, like emotional eating or anything like that, any types of issues around food at all, this can be really, really helpful. So whether it's disordered eating on one end of a spectrum or another, this is your friend. This can help you kind of parse those things out, and it's also a very loving, non-judgmental stone. So it will be there with you while you sort out any kind of the underlying issues that go along with that, regardless of how diverse and far-reaching they might be. I love blue apatite. This one is a raw stone, and this one is polished. Where can we place you? Let's see, we'll put one here We shall make room. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just make room. And we can definitely send distance Reiki for Dion, especially if somebody can't be communicated with. The way that I don't send distance Reiki to folks unless they specifically request it. If someone is unable to communicate, or if they're unable to give informed consent, like if they're not old enough, or any other permutation thereof, what I do is I just simply say, universe, I'm offering this. I cannot get permission or informed consent, so I humbly offer it. And if for any reason it's inappropriate, no judgments. With love, may it be released, and may the healing be redirected to the earth. And I usually find that that's helpful. I mean, we always want to empower people with like, would you like some healing? Yes, I feel like that empowers the healing. But for times when we actually cannot, that's like offering is very different. And I think that that's fine. So I'll absolutely offer that. And let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I wanted to do some extra support for Key. Working through traumas of the sacral chakra. Absolutely. Oh, Mish, I'm sorry. Gotcha. Yeah, we'll offer lots of love. Lapis, red tiger eye. So lapis helps with deep communication, truth, and honesty. Also aids with if you're working on disorganization and trying to get more organized, but it's a stone of integrity. And if you're looking to bring people in that have those qualities, or to better step into those qualities yourself, it's a fantastic stone. Let's see. Also good for career movement, like if you're looking to be promoted or anything like that, like moving upward in your career. So we'll do some lapis right there near the blue kyanite, because that looks pretty together. There we go. One more. Okay. So that's lapis. And red tiger eye helps with protection on the spiritual level, as well as physically, like in the world, like emotional protection too. It's incredibly protective, actually, from anything from like psychic attack and nasty spiritual work to office politics, protects against things like triangulation, bullying, gaslighting, all that kind of stuff. It works really well. It's also good for like work environments that can be really toxic, as well as it can be really great for manifesting money quickly. So it's very, very grounding too. Let's put that. Gotcha. Okay. And for just processing grief, we've got my favorite grief stone, which is jet here. And another one for grief. What wants to jump out for that? I think I'm just going to bring out the other piece of jet. Yeah, red tiger's eye is an interesting stone. So we'll bring this in. I'm just going to put the other piece of jet here to support key. Additionally, black and white banded agate. And black obsidian can be helpful for grief too. It's also good for just like shock, very protective, anything traumatic. So this can be helpful for trauma. As far as the sacral chakra, and also I saw getting along with roommates, I'm going to bring in carnelian, but this is also for anything that is traumatic, like deep traumas too. Very protective, especially when we're working through a trauma and we're more sensitive and raw and vulnerable. It can help us that, but it's deeply helpful for grief and grieving. So I'm going to put those, actually, no, I'll put them here. Yeah, it is a great trauma combo. Trauma and grief. And grief is a kind of trauma. Okay, so we've got lapis. I think we are good. I think we got everyone. I hope we got everyone. Okay, cool. So usually this is the point where, actually we'll do it. Yeah. So I'm going to grab a couple of stones. And I'm going to think of stones that would support all of the requests that you've all made. Something that something that will harmonize with everything that's been asked, and I think would be like a perfect blend of everything. And you all will vote on it. And while y'all vote on that, I will be briefly explaining what Reiki is before we get into the healing, where you can just sort of hang out and enjoy. And so I'm going to do... Just bear with me a moment. And we definitely do have selenite. I always have selenite underneath the grid, but I can always move it up. Well, the first one I want to offer up, green calcite. Green calcite, excellent for any kind of anxiety, stress, anything like that. It's deeply calming, and it gives us a little bit of a resilience to be able to deal with something that might be a little bit stressful over time. green calcite can also help with in general reassurance and just like nervousness, especially if nervousness is affecting your heart, like deep stress like that, like stress that's impacting you physically. But yeah, very reassuring. And yeah, a lot of sadness too. I felt it too. And I think the other is going to be rutilated smoky. So we already talked about rutilated quartz, but smoky quartz also brings its energies of protection and transmutation. This is a crystal that can fundamentally change the energy and shift it, not just move it out of your field, but actually in many cases just change the quality of the energy, whether or not it sticks around. It can be very calming, very protective, and also helps to get the energy moving, much like copper does. So it's very much linked with Reiki. So just for those of you who are new, you have more than one vote, hint, hint. So go ahead and vote on which of these two you think is the right fit for the grid. Go ahead and use the chat for that. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the stream. It super helps me out. I will quickly explain what Reiki is all about, and then we will get into the healing. Hi again. So as I mentioned at the top of the hour, my name is Danielle Stimpson, and I am the teacher and owner at Learn Reiki Philadelphia. I've been teaching Usui Reiki for about 14 years. So what is Reiki? Well, the style I work with, like I mentioned, is known as Usui Reiki, and it's probably the most common type that you'll see in the West in general. It's named for its founder, Mikao Usui, who created this particular method in the early 1920s in Japan. At the same time, practices of working with this energy are vast and diverse, some newer, many much older. And the very foundation that this system of Usui Reiki is built on is the Shinto understanding of how the universe works and just what energy is. Shintoism being the indigenous spirituality of Japan. And in this understanding, everything has a soul. Everything is interconnected, and everyone is interconnected. And there are, for lack of a better term, frequencies floating through that interconnectedness. One of which is a spiritually guided soul energy or life energy. And that's the best description that we can give of what Reiki is. It is an energy outside of ourselves, but flowing through all of us to help support our greatest good physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, karmically, that our body is working with already all the time. So on a very subtle level, we are very familiar with this energy. And essentially what I'll be doing today is connecting to this energy that's already flowing through everyone, connecting all of us, and directing more of it to you to help support your best interests and optimal healing, whatever that happens to be in your unique case. You can set any intentions to your personal healing that you want for any reason, or none at all, and just ask that it support the greatest good for you. During the session, you don't have to focus on anything or keep a silent mind. You can just notice how the Reiki shows up for you. You may feel it physically in your body. You may feel some emotions coming up or shifting. You may feel your subconscious coming up, which is some, mental realizations and epiphanies. You may have some spiritual guidance come in the form of intuition or ideas that just seem like out of nowhere. Whatever of these it is, and it's probably going to be a combination thereof, go ahead and enjoy. You may simply feel relaxed and want to take a nice nap. Awesome. That sounds great. If you feel like you want to move, stretch, or bend during the session, you totally can. Do some yoga, journal, whatever you'd like, but you don't have to do anything. During the session, you may fall asleep. You can just get physically comfortable in whatever position that might be for you, sitting up, lying down, what have you, and just sort of chill out. As I send the Reiki to you, you can notice what comes through. If you're not sure if it's like helpful shifts or just sort of a racing mind, just take a deep breath in and out and see what shifts for you. At the end of the 25-minute session, I will reopen the chat and you'll be able to ask me any questions. You'll be able to share any experiences that you feel motivated to share, and we'll take it from there. Know that Reiki flows through our bodies and is already there, much like we're mostly made of water and we don't really think of it. And water is necessary for pretty much everything our body does. We don't have to consciously focus on it, just like we just need to have it there. And guess what? The things happen. Our subconscious knows what to do with it. Our body knows what to do with that water. Reiki is very much the same in that regard. So you don't have to worry about focusing or setting intentions. You can simply allow it to support you. During the session, if you do feel like you're going to fall asleep, that's totally cool. If you do need to be at a very specific time, you can set yourself an alarm. I will come back at the 25-minute mark. You'll hear my voice come back in, and I'll invite you to take a deep breath in and out. And at that time, that's when I'll reopen the chat. The music that we'll be listening to, if you enjoy it, I would suggest that you check out the content creator for that music. She's linked in the description below and has her own amazing channel, so you can listen to her all day long. And the lights will turn down and float gently and softly through many different colors, but they will not flash or strobe. Last thing, if you are interested in learning Reiki, I do hold online Reiki certification classes. You can learn more about those in the description below. You can also learn about my one-on-one distance sessions, Discord server, social media, and all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for being here. It is an honor and a privilege to have you here. I'm here with the live stream 5 times a week, and I am going to add some more of the tarot for all 12 signs later today. So if you want more of that and to be aware of every time I go live, go ahead and subscribe with your notifications on so you don't miss an opportunity. So thank you for being here, and let's go back to our crystal grid. Ta-da! Let me just adjust this camera. Hope I'm not making anybody seasick. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Aha, I adjusted the lights and I think it looks much better. I hope you all agree. So let's see what we voted on. Oh yeah, rutilated. It's going to be both. It's always both. So let's go ahead and put our green calcite here. And we will place our smoky here. So during your session, you can just go ahead and chill. Enjoy your session. I'll be back in 25 minutes, which will put us at about the 5:35 mark if you're here on the East Coast with us. Enjoy your session, and I will see you shortly. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly come back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. If you can hear the cat purring, allow that to bring you back. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a privilege. You all are so welcome. Yeah, this particular full moon energy is definitely particularly unbalancing for me, so I feel so much better after this session. I hope you all do too. You all are so welcome. So today's Wednesday. I am back to do more community distance Reiki on Friday at 4 p.m. and again at 8 p.m., both of those East Coast U.S. time, and Sunday at 8 p.m. East Coast U.S. time. Oh, JS, you're so welcome. Thank you for that. Yeah, Kitty is very happy. This is the different cat, the one that usually jumps, well, they both do, but this is Hattie that's jumped up and demanded some Reiki. You're welcome, Key. Yes, and to everybody, what a wonderful group. Thank you so much, Mish. I could use that. I appreciate that. Also, if you haven't already, there's a link in the description for my email newsletter and for my Discord. There is a Reiki 1 class for this weekend that has under-enrolled, which is rare for me. But given that this is the first holiday season where we can pretty much get together, not surprising. So if you're interested, there are some very, very limited, because my classes are small, very, very limited half-price tickets. So if you're in my email group list or in my Discord, or if you email me, I can give you some more details on that. But all of my classes through May are enrolling now on my website, learnreikiphiladelphia.com. Thank you so much. Oh, here's Hattie. Achoo, kitty sneeze. Yeah. Thank you all so much for being here. Definitely working on the subscriber goal to reach 1,000 so that we can have more community options. And so glad to have so many new folks. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Remember, this energy is a bit much, so take it easy on yourself. Drink some water, have some herbal tea, and honestly, Epsom salt is a wonderful way to help clear energy and just chill. So whether you soak your feet, take a bath, or even just put your feet on a bag of Epsom salt, it can be really helpful. But yes, I will be back. Thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and probably end the stream in just a few more moments. Both of your kitties stayed for this session. Oh, we have another one joining us. Oh, hello. Hello. Hi. What's up, Gertie girl? Oh, you want some love too? But yeah, if any... Oh, you'll try that tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, let me know. Oh, we've got double purrs. Thank you, Susan. The salt bath thing, it works. It really helps with like really intense energy. Yeah, and a nice big group today. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, two little pretty kitties. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream here with an abundance of gratitude for you all. And before I wrap up, I'll probably see about bringing the camera down so you can see what my lap looks like, because it's hilarious. Yeah, these two are adorable. Okay. Oh, double the purrs. Okay, everyone, well, take care. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon. And bye for now.